Hi guys, Alex here. Welcome back to Girl Talk and a Show. And I am super excited because for today's video, it is that day again. It is that day again where we have come to discuss the newest live stream, super secret live stream from ALR. Now, this one was actually called period, like just the symbol at the end of a sentence. Yeah, that was the name of her live stream. Like, I get it, girls. Sometimes it's hard when you do so many live streams, like coming up with a title to perfectly encapsulate the vibes of the past few days in girl world. We will go ahead and start by doing a brief rundown on what we missed on her weekly vlog that she put out on Monday. She had some very, sorry, Beck, bad news for us. And then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes, which is, of course, a full recap of her super secret May 7th live stream. Later on in the video, we'll take a look at a brand new video from Amber, which was called Cracker Barrel Gate, which we will briefly discuss in the recap, and no longer weighing in or counting calories, weigh in episode 7. So is that it for our short-lived weight loss journey? I don't know if anything really happened this time. You know what I mean? It was like it was there and then it wasn't. Girl, get it together. Before we get into the brand new video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are not already, if you want to see these rundowns of the super secret live streams. And let's just get right into it. I mean, shall we? All right, you guys, welcome back. So we are going to go ahead and start off by talking about the weekly vlog just very briefly. Now, this one was titled, I Was Denied the GLP-1. I'm Lying to Myself, and Huge Kitchen Stuff Haul. It was her 7th weekly vlog. She begins by sitting down and telling the people that her cellulitis is getting kind of scary. That's why she has been back and forth on whether or not she wants to take a break from the internet for the time being, or if she wants to continue on with this schedule. She claims that she is continuing on with the schedule, but she's not making any promises, so you can't leave any negative comments. She decides to show that she broke her Drew Barrymore air fryer. So everybody, a moment of silence for the Drew Barrymore air fryer. Okay. Very important thing to include. So what happened with the GLP-1? She was supposed to get on Zepbound, which is the brand name for tirzepatide. I'm not 100% sure how to say that, but she was actually denied because she was talking to the doctor through the telehealth application, and they started asking her about her history with gallbladder issues and cancer. Specifically because her gallbladder, she was denied this medication, or so she claims. Now, she does say that she is not giving up and that she might see a primary care and see if she can go forward with this medication, if they can do an up-to-date checkup on her gallbladder, whatever that entails, you know. She is very upset because, and I quote, "Shouldn't the focus be on saving my life?" Yes, you should be focused on that. But she's already been down this road when it comes to GLP-1s. She got off of them before because she said that they contradicted with her gallbladder issues. But now I guess she is realizing that the obesity is more of a danger to her overall health. I feel like just calling her obese is like not enough, but you get what I mean. And ends the video by saying that she has been overwhelmed lately, but she's starting to feel better, and admits that she has been hiding a lot from the audience, which I've been like on that tangent for about a week now. She's definitely hiding something, we can tell, and homegirl's not ready to spill the beans, but here we are. So let's go ahead and move on to the super secret live stream. Lots of drama, of course, some tears. It is not an Amberlynn live stream or video without some tears these days. She is crying in every single one, I swear to you, and this is no exception. She begins by saying that she is going forward with canceling her private members only stream, and instead she's going to make it a public stream with members only chat. Amber feels like her words are being twisted by the reaction channels. She said the same thing last week, and that people are just taking what the reaction channels say instead of watching her because you have to pay to watch her, or go out of your way to find some sort of quote, illegal copy. She cares way too much what people think. Someone says that she is going to be heavily trolled if she goes public and it's going to derail everything. But she says you can't troll a troll. I feel like she's going to lose a lot of money if she decides to make these public, because I know that I'm canceling if they go public. The reason I say if is because she later on takes this back and says, no, I'm caving to the pressure, because there were several members that said that they wanted to keep it the way that it was. So at this point, I don't know exactly what she's going to do, but she goes on and on about how it's not about the money. It's about her narrative. Her narrative is being twisted, guys. She says that Charlie Gold is showing her live streams and that upsets her. People are illegally watching on Discord. What does it matter? I might as well just put it out there for the world to see. And people keep sending her screenshots. Really, who's wasting their time snitching on reaction channels for reacting to Amber's live in a Discord? Like, so illegal, girl. Lock them up. She was all over the place. Then she gets into Erica. Amber gets kind of angry at someone in the side chat, and she thinks that they're trolling to try to make her angry. And it reminds her of Erica Valentine, who used to make her angry on purpose because she thought it was sexy. Erica was ... different. Amber gets emotional. She starts talking about the past when she was living with her parents and how people would come and go. They would be in and out of the house while they all did. And it was like a mathematics McDonald's. If you know, you know. There was all of these men in and out of her house when she was about 14 years old. She talks about two guys who were inappropriate with her. One she refers to as Kay, who was a friend of the dad, who told her that he wanted to see her make out with her friend, which was another lady. And Dirty M, who would call her beautiful. She admits at the time she thought that he was cute, but she was 14 and he was 31, and he would touch her inappropriately. She begins to break down, coming to grips with the fact that it was SA and that it took her growing up to realize that. That's very true. I mean, sometimes as you get older, you look back on some of these past relationships and realize things were not right. Like, even I remember I was an adult. I was like 18, 19. I would talk to people that were in their 30s, 40s, 50s even. And now being 30 myself, knowing that I would never talk to someone who was 18 or 19, I have to look at the situation differently. At 14, Amber says that she dated a 27-year-old, and she was put in all these situations where she was alone with these men in the house. Where was Mama Lynn and Papa Lynn? Like, that's what I want to know. I assume that they were hopped up on all of these things. But even so, like, you're letting men go into your daughter's room. Where exactly was she and where were they? Because I'm assuming that they were there because they were providing something to these people that were coming and going. You know what I mean? So they had to at least be there. Very awful situation. Amber goes off on Mr. Snowflake. She really has a hate for Mr. Snowflake lately, throwing his divorce in his face and saying they got divorced because he is obsessed with Amber. Of course, girl, make it about yourself, and then you wonder why people call you a narcissist. But yeah, she is upset because people are saying that she said that an uncle did something to her when she was younger. And if she did in fact call him uncle, it was because he was close to the family in that way, not that he was actually an uncle. She continues to break down over how she's treated on YouTube. She's upset because they deleted her video where she talks about ED, and she even got an email about it and clarifies that that was the reason, because she was talking about ED specifically. And I feel like I'm not in the business of defending Amber Lynn, like literally not in that business, but the video that she put out was tame AF. I think you should be able to talk about these struggles on here. I mean, it was removed. We're talking about, like, it wasn't demonetized. It was removed completely, which I feel like are two completely different scenarios. So they're saying it's not even allowed to be on the website, let alone monetized, you know? Amber says that reactors call her narcissistic, but they are actually the narcissists. Girl, name names. She says that she gets messages from people with autism that say she reminds them of themselves. And she addresses H3H3 for the first time in a while. I know that she's like always been a super fan of him, but she has recently not really talked about it. But she does say that he is losing his mind. And she's jealous of Trisha Paytas because she can't get pregnant and she wants children. Amber says that Beck is lying when they say she didn't talk about wanting kids. She tells Beck to swim in a flood and get cellulitis, and that Beck loves to act like Amber lies about everything. Crystal, Feline, and Tommy Emily would make a good parent, but Destiny and Beck, not so much. Really, Tommy? She'd probably make them like bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh my gosh, do you think she would do that to a kid? Like, oh God, I can't even think about it. Amber would name her daughter Adeline, but it's not after the Blake Lively movie, you guys. Age of Adeline? No, that's not where she got it. Girl, that's where you got it. Where else did you get it? And she would name a boy Romeo after Lil Romeo. She claims that Salty Crab is watching and obsessed, and that she has been eating a lot of cookies lately, which prompts the chat to start talking about Cookiegate or Cracker Barrel Gate. She lied about the Cracker Barrel cookies. People were saying that you can only buy a 5-pack of cookies or a 10-pack. They don't sell singles, which I don't know. I haven't been there in a decade, but Amber is sticking to her guns. She claims that they made an exception for her because she wanted this other dessert and they didn't have it, so they just subbed in a cookie. In that situation, I could see them giving one. But then again, who knows? It wouldn't be the first time that she lied about the food she's eating. She goes off on Mr. Snowflake yet again. You act perfect. You pretend to be perfect, but got divorced. What did you do? Like, girl, who knows? Maybe he met Ariana. People begin to question how she got this information. She won't say. And someone conveniently sent her all of the info. The girls always say that somebody sent it. Meanwhile, it's just them scrolling the forums and Reddit. Girl, you can admit it. I feel like that is such a cop-out. Foodie Beauty always says that. They either say, I don't watch them, I was watching Yo Mama, or somebody sent it all to me on Instagram, or somebody sent it all to my email. It's never them doing any dirty work, right? They don't do any of that. Girl, Beck said that you were scrolling the forums every day, so I don't want to hear it. ALR clarifies why she is so upset with Mr. Snowflake specifically, and she states that he did an interview with Casey, quote, the partner that owned me when I was a teenager, end quote. Weren't you an adult and they were a minor? I don't know. That's definitely a point against you, though. At the end of the day, it's he said, she said. So you can choose to believe who you want. I believe Casey in this situation, but I do think that the relationship as a whole was just very messy. And do I think they both got physical? Yeah, of course. Do I think Amber was the instigator most of the time? I do believe that, yeah. Especially because what we have heard from other exes, it's the same story. Amber says that she has been living for Chantal's lives lately. She thinks that her and her husband have such cutie energy. Girl, who are you watching? They have such cringe, fake energy, if you ask me. Does Amber know about Cookiegate? I'm sure she does. Of course she does. And Chantal is just getting more and more pathetic, like publicly begging for money for food on your community tab. It doesn't get much more pathetic than that. All right, that's it for the live stream recap. Let's get into the reaction. All right, y'all. So this one is called Cracker Barrel Gate and no longer weighing in or counting calories. And this is her weigh-in episode 7. Would you guys still watch me if I talked like that for real?
Hey guys, welcome to another weigh-in video. All right.
Hey girl, are we going to get a weigh-in this time? Because I feel like last week we just got her spouting off some numbers, which to me is questionable at best. But even so, people aren't going to believe the clips of her stepping on the scale, or should I say allegedly stepping on it.
Let's get straight into the questions. How has your BE improved? So I noticed, even though I did outpatient for only a few months,
the bee eating. So she said in the live stream that she's going to be very careful about what she says now because YT took her video down last week. See, this is why I'm not celebrating. I want Amber to be as open as possible. even though half of it's lies, but okay.
Noticed that like the tools, the knowledge, and the things that I talked about in outpatient during that time started helping me. But genuinely, all the credit goes to the 9 months of therapy I did with a psychologist when I was going to get weight loss surgery. I was only supposed to see that psychologist for 3 months, but I kept going because it genuinely was like changing my life, and it still has. Like, that's a psychologist that diagnosed.
Imagine where we would be now if she did get that surgery. Wasn't it going to be, so it was like last year, right? Or maybe it was even the year before. I feel like it was 2024, right? Maybe not. She has said this before because she has talked about getting weight loss surgery for years, how they would make her go to therapy for like about a year. Well, no matter how you twist it, she would have had the surgery by now. Okay. It's been over a year. It's been years since she's been talking about this, right? I remember her complaining in 2019 about how they will make her go to a year of therapy before they do the surgery. Well, girl, it would be done. It would be in the past, so far in the past by now if you got it done in like 2021 or 2022. Come on now. And yet here we are, same old thing, same old thing. What is she like, just chicken out this time? I remember she was like very afraid to get the WLS, but I feel like that is one of her only options at this point. She obviously is not going to go to inpatient. A lot of money. There are cheaper options than $30,000. We've done some research and there's not very many facilities, but I was going to say she could get on a plane. Could she? I don't know. She needs to do something.
Me with BPD. Now I'm aware, and that's like the first thing that you need to do when you're a borderline is you need to have that awareness, because without the awareness, you're like, what's the problem? There's nothing wrong with me. You can have tiny little moments of like, okay, something seems off. What's wrong with me? But I don't really know what. It's the awareness that really helps. All right, let's not talk about that though. That's not what this video is about. That psychologist genuinely like changed my life. Yes, I still overeat. Yes, I still have issues.
It's the awareness that helps. That is always like step one. Coming to grips with the fact that you have a problem with XYZ. Oh my goodness, I need to stop saying that. I have found doing YouTube over the past several years, I will go through phases. I guess Amber does the exact same thing with like hecticana. Well, yeah, it happens to me too. I'll just like say certain phrases so many times in a row. It just like sticks with me. And then one day I just stop saying it that much.
But the BE, like, I don't do that. I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means. What I am saying is those 9 months drastically helped me. And then
what does that mean? I'm not perfect by any means. I don't do that, but I'm not perfect by any means. So it happens sometimes. I'm confused.
Since then, I have done on and off
Amber language. I mean, this is why people call her a liar, because everything is just like harder to interpret. The way that she says certain things and turns of phrases and just a contradiction within the same sentence of her saying something else. Like, that is why people get frustrated and call her a liar.
Therapy, and I've done on and off working on myself, whether it be workbooks or just like the daily journaling. Like, finding coping mechanisms is literally going to change your life if you
I can see the highlighter is highlighting on her cheekbone area. Does Amber do like contour? I feel like what would be the point? It's not magic.
Struggle with BE. Like, it's hard, obviously, but I've improved drastically in that area. Do you ever do the lymphatic massages for your illnesses? So by illnesses, I'm pretty sure they mean my lipedema and lymphedema. And I do, but it is hard to do on your own self. So I do the best I can, but it's not something that I do like religiously, because like I said, it is very hard to do like by myself. And I'm not going to ask anyone to do it for me because that is my job. Why are you not allowed to be on estrogen? So
not going to ask anyone to do it for her. She's talking about the massages, the therapeutic massages that they do, people with lipedema, lymphedema. Girl, shouldn't you be seeing like a doctor or specialist who should be doing these massages? I mean, there is no way that you can give yourself a massage the way that somebody else could. And yeah, you shouldn't be forcing a girlfriend back to do it for no pay, but unpaid labor, girl, to pick lint off of your back for 45 minutes. I mean, come on. Or play choosy, pick the favorite vein on my leg. What if she made back choosy a vein on her leg? Girl, no, we're not even going to go there today. Taking it back to what exactly is going on behind the scenes, because she did clarify, make that real, that there was something going on that she's keeping from the audience. Why does she cry at the drop of a hat? I feel like that's new. She didn't used to do that. She cries over everything now.
cancers actually feed off of estrogen, and the cancer that I was diagnosed with and the stage and grade that it was at, it was feeding off of estrogen.
That was so weird because she was supposed to be on blockers, not taking more. That's crazy. I would have like sued. She should have sued, honestly. If what she was saying is legit, that they gave her that after her specific type of cancer, if everything added up, she should have sued.
Does your mom grocery shop with you?
Does your mom grocery shop with
Sometimes.
you?
I would say 9 times out of 10 she does, but we both have our own cart. She goes her own way. I go my own way. It's like killing two.
Right, because she has to go. She has to go with Mama Lynn. If she doesn't, then she does delivery grocery, guys. Like, that's just how it is when you don't have a car in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City. No, but if you just like, if you don't have a car, but you live in a city, you can't buy that much at a time. Oh my goodness. I remember I lived like 3 blocks from the grocery store and I carried one of those water bottles, like cases of water bottles, 24 pack. No, never again. That was so hard.
Birds with one stone, because she gets what she needs, I get what I need, and then we usually meet each other out at the car when we're done. Did you order 5 cookies from Cracker Barrel? So Cookiegate was happening.
We meet each other at the car. What? Okay, Cookiegate. Did she get 5 cookies or did they substitute a single? I'm gonna guess lie. She got 5.
Live stream, which I literally just ended my live stream. So that just ended and now we're here. I was so confused because people were saying I had 9 cookies and people.
So she's filming this at like what, 12 o'clock in the morning, 10, 11. Yeah, like her live stream ended around 11:30. So yeah.
Saying I had 12 cookies. I was genuinely lost.
Well,
but I guess it turns out that people saw somewhere that the only way you can order chocolate chip cookies is if you order 5 or 10 at a time. Which before I even found that out, I was trying to explain that the only reason why I had a chocolate chip cookie was because I was trying to get these like beignets. They just looked and sounded so good at the time. But when I went to order it and then the DoorDasher went to go get it, turns out they didn't have those. And I was like, okay. So I messaged back and I was like, do they have chocolate chip cookies? I'll take one of those. And then they just gave me a chocolate chip cookie. So no, I didn't have 5 or 9 or 12 chocolate chip cookies. I just had 1. All right, let's get into the goals that I had.
She had a 10-pack and a beignet and a can of Pringles. I have Pringles on the brain.
Last week, my goal was literally just to look into GLP-1s, and I have done that. So if you haven't watched any of my last videos from the last week, literally.
They denied her GLP-1. Girl, what are you going to do? Amber has no options left except surgery or inpatient.
I signed up. I did the questionnaire. I was fixing to get approved for a GLP-1, which has been very easy for me in the past. But this company asked about my gallbladder. I told them I had gallstones over a decade ago and they denied me. And I almost gave up, but
that is one of those things, if you look up Ozempic, that it specifically says you shouldn't take if you have issues with your gallbladder.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an advocate for myself. I genuinely believe the possible reoccurrence of a gallstone is less severe than me staying the size.
They get all of these issues, these girls get all of these issues that like contradict each other and they can't take XYZ medication because they're dealing with this, and they can't get surgery because the risk is just too great. Because I feel like if she was like 150 pounds, they probably would have removed her gallbladder a long time ago if she constantly was getting gallstones, right? But no, she can't do that. She can't take Ozempic. Like, it gets to the point where they're just like done with you. You're kind of just left to your own devices because there's nothing that they can do because surgery is just so risky. But yeah, wow. Not a good place to be. Not a good place to be. Although she really should think about, well, she said she was going to have them like recheck her gallbladder and see.
Not respond to me. So I'm over it. Okay, cool. So that brings.
They didn't respond to her. She was kind of like snarky a little bit. I don't know. She was being snarky in her video. I don't know if she was snarky in the message, but it wouldn't surprise me. Wink.
Me into my goals for this week. My first goal is that I want to talk to my doctor and make an.
They were just like, nah, girl, nah, girl. But didn't one of the other doctors say that like she needed to be in therapy while she was taking it or else there was no point?
Appointment and talk about GLP-1s and see what he thinks. I'm willing to closely monitor my gallbladder if that like will make him feel more safe about.
I don't understand why we didn't just stay on one of the other GLP-1s that we were on 3 times. Literally. At least she's trying like a different one this time. The tirzepatide. Let's just call it Zepbound. That's what it's called. Brand name. That's like the Ozempic. Yeah, you get it.
Putting me on a GLP-1. Number 2, I want to just work on my relationship with food, period. Number 3, stop the daily weigh-ins and just weigh myself once a week. All right, so now let's talk about how my week went. So last week I was feeling shitty. I was feeling defeated.
Then why does the title say no longer weighing in if we're doing weekly weigh-ins? That's the same thing that she has been doing. I mean, we're not there with her behind the scenes when she weighs herself every single day.
I was feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling like I was drowning. I was depressed. I was low. I genuinely was not in a...
More clickbait from Amber. It's just been clickbait after clickbait after clickbait with her. My mom's suing me. Anyone? That one was particularly egregious. She called the video, "My mom's suing me," but really in the vlog, her mom like made a joke that lasted like 2 seconds. Like, "I'm suing you," as like a joke, as an obvious joke that lasted 2 seconds. And that was the title. Like, girl, a
good place. And I feel so much better. Like,
she should sue because you have drug her through the mud over the years.
I feel like I can breathe again. I feel like I have reached the surface of the water and I am no longer drowning. Like,
defamation of character. Okay, yeah. So things have been going on. Amber, she said that in the previous vlog that they're starting to get better, but she was very much, I guess, the cellulitis. We don't know what else was wrong, but the cellulitis was like the straw that broke the camel's back. The straw that broke the elephant's back. Girl, that's a cheap and easy. No. Keep it classy.
I hate when I reach lows like that because it reflects in all of my life. And I try very hard to put on a smile and to still be positive and happy. And sometimes it's hard. It's a scary feeling, but I feel a lot better. And I'm just very happy about that. So I decided in the middle of last week that I will no longer be doing daily weigh-ins because they were messing with my head. I also decided that I will no longer be counting calories. I will strictly be focusing on weighing myself once a week while working on my relationship with food. Instead of treating food like it's the problem,
Wait, but what is that? Is that like intuitive eating? Girl, your intuition is what got you here, sweetheart. I feel like she's at a point where she has to count calories and be very petty with it. Like, she needs to count every little calorie because she has been known to stretch the calories, get the calories wrong, and then she wonders why she's up on the scale, and then she says, "My body's just different. It's because of my lymphedema." It's like, no, girl, if you actually stuck to this limit, it wouldn't be up. But instead, we're just going to go based on intuition and fixing our relationship with food. I mean, that's like that new age dietitian, what can you add? Don't think about what you can take away from the meal. Think about what you can add to the meal, like fruits and veg.
Reality is that I'm the problem. Nothing I do regarding losing weight.
Yeah, you're the problem. So how are you going to take your intuition for it? You haven't fixed your relationship with food. So I don't know. It just sounds like hogwash. She's just going to watch what she's eating. Yeah, girl, watch it.
I'll ever be successful unless I work on that relationship. Losing weight is extremely important.
Don't you need like an actual therapist to work on your relationship with food?
That is how I'm going to save my life. But the only way I can lose weight is, like I said, working on that relationship with food. So that is going to be my main focus. I'm still going to continue the weigh-ins for you guys every single.
And what does that even entail? I feel like it entails a lot of talk and no action. And her admitting next week on Amberlyn Reed, I am going back to counting calories because it got a little bit out of control last week. Yeah, right.
Week. But by working on the relationship, the symptom, which has been the weight gain, that is going to improve, which will then be weight loss. And by working on my relationship with food, I want to use a tool like GLP-1. On the side,
she's a lost cause at this point.
I want to take all the tools that I've ever learned from having a dietitian and outpatient and taking those tools and realizing
I don't even know if the GLP-1 is like for her. She needs to get surgery.
That food is fuel. You have to eat to live.
She's just going to gain it all back like as soon as she gets off of it. I mean, that's what we have seen already. Granted, she's only stuck to it for like a month or two at most with the other GLP-1s.
Live to eat. I still want to enjoy food. I don't want to think of food as a bad. That is where I know that my relationship with food is not going to be good. So by working on my relationship,
I have to eat to survive, guy. Yeah. We need 20-piece nuggets to survive.
Relationship with food, I need to take the actions into doing so. And as I do them, I will talk to you guys more about it. But as of right now, I want to treat my body better. I want to nourish my body the way that we are supposed to. Anyways.
Your body's a temple. You know how she said a 20-piece nugget is better because if you get a 10 piece and a fry, it's more calories. Well, that is true. If you get a large fry, if you got a small fry and a 10 piece, that would be less calories than a 20 piece. But if you get a large fry and a 10 piece, then it's just a little bit more calories. Like I'm talking less than 100 more, or maybe like about 100. Not much, like negligible.
I feel
Anyways,
like I could talk about
who wants a 20 piece?
this for like 9 million years. So let's move on to the weigh-in. Last week I was 514.2, and this week I was 516.2. In the middle of the week, I did get down to 513. So I'm noticing I am just fluctuating right now, and I'm not going to beat myself up for it, because progress isn't just lose weight every single day. Progress is very much lose some, gain some, lose some, gain.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe she's patting herself on the back for nothing, like worse than nothing. Like it's not maintaining, it's gaining. At her weight, like 3 pounds is literally nothing. Like, oh my goodness, you guys, the delusion wins. Like she has just let the delusion win. That's been on my mind lately. Like, should I just let the delusion win? Should I just like clock out, only pay attention to what's going on in my immediate vicinity? No, that's not the kind of person I am. But you guys know people like that they just live in their own little world. Like they don't even watch the local news, let alone know what's going on in the world. It's blissful ignorance. And sometimes I envy that, but it's just not me. And once the genie's out of the bottle, can't really put it back in type style.
Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Well, yeah, that's like Amber to a T. I mean, everything's about her. Everything's about her. And she says she's not narcissistic, but it's like, girl, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours talking about yourself. Live streams. What do you talk about? Yourself pretty much the whole time. My exes, myself. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I'd want to do it. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for today's video. It looks like Amber has quit dieting. She's going to be trying her intuition now, just going on intuition. So we shall see how this goes. She pat herself on the back for that 3-pound gain, which we all know is just completely ridiculous. Did she even try? She's doing the videos, but she's not putting in the work behind the scenes. It's like showing up to therapy and you continue to make zero progress or even like try to fix whatever it is that's going on in your life, right? Is Amber a lost cause? Is it time for surgery? What will happen to her super secret live streams? Will the beef with Snowflake continue? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. I will, of course, catch you guys in the next one. All right. Bye, everyone.